What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Now, as you can see, the Megane is back and looking filthy, so don't judge, because new parts have arrived. My spacers and my stud conversion kit. So, going to do before and afters, little video on all that sort of stuff, you know it is, so let's jump straight into it. Right, so before we get into the video, I probably should explain, for those of you who don't know what a spacer or a stud kit even is. So traditionally a car will come with bolts instead of studs. So this obviously replaces that. This will go straight into the hub and hold on from there, and obviously just a bit of thread locker on this side, and then you'll be using nuts from then on. A little bit safer on a spacer apparently and stuff like that. So obviously, as I'll be running a spacer, I thought that would be the thing to go for, and instead of buying extended wheel bolts, just go straight to the stud kit, which I was running on the Clio. So this is a 16mm spacer by iBack, and obviously the stud kit will sit through like that. So yeah, that's basically about it. Obviously it can add like stance to the car, so basically just fill these arches slightly so the wheel will actually come out further this way, and then yeah, so just sit a bit tidier into there, so it'll essentially make it potentially look a little bit lower as well. So I've cracked the wheel nuts off on the other side, so let's jack the car up and start. I'd like to thank all you guys for subscribing, made me able to afford this ultra high quality high level jack. Right, so jack the car up now. Obviously it's just enough to get the wheels off the floor. We're going to finish cracking the wheels off and then get the stud kit on. First thing.
Okay, bye.
Right, so I've got the wheel off. We've got our 5 studs and 5 nuts. So I'm going to put a bit of thread lock on the bottom side here, which goes into the hub. Not too much, just enough to obviously stop it coming back out. Just a little bit of safety, if anything. Then torque those up to 25 newton meters, and then let them set in, and then the spacer will go on, and then the wheel will go on, and then the nut. So let's get into putting these in. Just dab like that. Then it'll spread around with the thread. Look at that. That's probably a little bit too much. So there it is, there's the 5 studs. I've got to torque these up real quick with this torque wrench. One sec.
A few moments later.
Just got to quickly torque these up now to spec, and then it's as simple as that. Just leave that there to let it settle. There we are. Set this to 25, can you see that? So they're all torqued up, then the spacer will just slip on over the top, like so, and then the wheel will go back on, and that's it. Easy job. Right, so the studs are in, spacer's on, as you can see. Make sure it's nice and flush to the back of the hub. I'm going to put the wheel back on, and then just whack the studs on, the bolts on, and then yeah, onto the front. There it is. Put these on, one by one. Torque these up as well. And obviously it's advised, once you've done this, you know, when you've driven it for a little while, check them again, because obviously they might loosen up slightly. So yeah, that's the wheel pretty much straight. Just got to torque these all up and onto the front. So now just torquing these up to the spec I was told to do it to. So 25 on the stud and 130 on the wheel nut.
What?
So the reason obviously you need extended bolts is because you're essentially pushing the wheel out away from the hub with this spacer. Obviously these are hub centric spacers, which is the best thing to do because it keeps the wheels square and centered. Obviously these are the standard bolts and these are the extended, so essentially it's changing that from that. So if you would imagine you were to put this spacer on that hub and then try and tighten it up, you'd have barely any thread on the thing, so it just wouldn't work. It probably wouldn't even do up. So by the time you account for obviously the wheel on as well, it's just not safe. So hence the extended bolt into the hub like that, and then obviously where the wheel will sit on here, not on the end. But yeah, that's essentially why. And obviously there is the rule of that it's safer to run these with a spacer because they're holding the wheel onto the hub as opposed to actually pulling the wheel to the hub with a bolt, if that makes sense. So instead of pulling everything in, it's already mounted. So and with the hub centric thing, so it's just the nut on the end to keep things all in check. So onto the front.
Lovely.
Just get 2 in to hold the wheel in, and then you can straighten the wheel up and torque them up. And that's one side done. Easy peasy. Lower it down on the ground. Let's have a look. Obviously, we'll recheck the wheel nuts when we get the car all 4 corners done. And it's got to settle in a little bit. Hot damn. Obviously, this has got to settle in because the car hasn't moved and the handbrake's on. But if you come round, take a look here. If you look here, look at where the wheel comes to the arch, and now look at the other side in comparison. Dead fitment. You rolled it backwards and forwards just to set the back so you can actually see it. But there is a huge difference. I don't know even if the camera can kind of pick that up. When you see it down the side there like that, compared to that, you can see there, like, yes, it's low, but obviously it doesn't, the rim is kind of obviously quite set in. So obviously now where that space is on, it's got rid of that kind of tucked look. Now when you're doing this stuff for yourself, obviously if you're going to do the stud kit and spacers and whatever, even if you're just doing spacers, make sure you've checked what spacers fit for your car, because if they don't fit, you're going to get wheel wobble, brake wobble and all that stuff. Not only that, obviously you need to take into consideration when you space the wheel this way, you're going to run into issues out here. So you want to make sure that you don't space the wheel so far that when you hit a bump or anything like that, that your tyre hits the arches and stuff, because like plastic arches, you'll rip them to shreds. And you just don't want to take your car from being, you know, your daily usage to like scrubbing around every corner and every bump and stuff. So just bear that all in mind when you're thinking about it and stuff. And like, I did a lot of research to make sure that this, why did I just hit that? To make sure that this spacer is the right one for this car without getting any of the scrub and whatever. So yeah. There you are. One more. Right, so I'm just going to drop the car down now. All 4 corners are done. We're going to roll the car backwards and forwards to get it off the handbrake and stuff, but before we do that, obviously check once more, check all the torque sensors to the wheel nuts when we drop the car down, and then yeah, that's it. So then we'll roll on to some beauties and get some shots before and afters and all that stuff, so you can see how much of a difference it's made, and it is a big one to be fair, so let's get into it.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing pleasure, but if you've made it this far, then you've made it to the surprise without skipping. Just a quick explanation, I had the stud kit and the spacer kit for about 3 weeks now, and I filmed that a couple of weeks ago. But tying into this video, the other modification that I did to the car, if you can call it a modification, is something I wanted to do at the same time, like reveal at the same time, if that makes sense. So it's the whole package all in one, so roll the beauties and let's see what you think. So, what we saying? Personally, it's exactly what I wanted from doing this sort of modification. So, I was toying with the idea of going gloss black for the wheels, but they're harder to keep clean. They scratch a lot easier. So, satin black was the safe choice, obviously, which I had with the Clio. Easy to keep clean, and you can look after them fairly easily. So, yeah, the diamond cut look is not for me, especially with the red bits on. I didn't like it literally from the day I got the car. I said to like my friends and my close family and stuff, I was just like, yeah, this ain't gonna stay like this. So obviously with the modification of the spacers and the stud kit, then brought the wheels out and the fitment was bang on, as you've probably seen from photos potentially on my Instagram. But the wheels needed to go one colour, it's as simple as that. So I went with a satin black finish, as you can see, down at Wheelworks in where I live in Colchester. Solid finish, and I really appreciate those guys' effort, because the day I was meant to pick it up, they actually kept it another day, because I was due to pick it up and they said to me, you know, we're not happy with the finish, we want to do it again. So I really appreciate their honesty, and it goes a long way with me because I've got a little bit of OCD, so to put it mildly. But yeah, really appreciate the work they've done. It's a solid finish. Also, as you potentially saw in the in some of the footage, the little RS plaque that was lost obviously when the wheel was sandblasted. I got them redone, courtesy of Ryan Kilner, again as per usual, sort me out solid. Follow him up, I'll put all his links in the description. But yeah, he always sorts me out with that kind of stuff, like anything graphical, anything sort of decals you want done, hit him up, because he'll smash them out. And he does these sick little gel plaques as well, so definitely give him a look. Like I say, links in the description. But yeah, you've seen enough of this video now. Hopefully you guys like what's going on. Let me know in the comments what you're saying. But personally, the black wheels are just the icing on the spacer and the stud kit. In my opinion, I just think it's brought the whole thing together. And as well, with the wheels being black, it brings out the whole red look a bit more. And like I say, the red accents are now a bit more tasteful. The Brembos stand out a bit more. Like I say, the little RS black on the wheels stands out a bit more. The red centre cap stands out a little bit more. Because I think with red has to be tasteful. I think red is one of those colours you can overdo. Like red, blue and green, you can just overdo and it just looks really tacky. So yeah, satin black wheels with a little red plaque and the centres as they are. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Any questions, like I say, get at me in the comments or get on my Instagram as you do. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.